Ah, hello. Master Numerologist Alvin here. And today, I would like to continue my series on exit points. An exit point is the day, the month, the day, and the year that a soul leaves on. And today I'm going to talk about the actor Phillip Seymour Hoffman. But before I do, I like to discuss the significance of the number one and what happens when the number one isn't strongly represented in a vibrational pattern. The number one energy is a very powerful number. It's a number of creation. It's the number of the creator. It's the number of the sun. It's a number that's going somewhere. It's a number that has a very strong sense of self-worth and self-value. It's a very independent type of vibrational energy, and it's directional. It's focused. It is the spine. It is the backbone. It what separates man from the other animals. Man stands with his back erect. This erection symbolizes the direction in which man ought to be going. He should be going upward. His consciousness should be evolving. He should be striving. He should be striving to know oneself, not the physical outer self, but the inner divine self. It's an upward mobility. And every incarnation affords us that opportunity. Now, in numerology, we deal with primarily 9 numbers, 1 through 9. We don't consider the number 0 as one of our digits. We don't factor that in. But when you lay numbers out, what I do is I lay numbers out and I look for a vibrational pattern. Certain numbers harmonize with one another and certain numbers are in opposition to each other. That's the yin and yang of life. Every number has a positive aspect and a challenging aspect. But what happens when I look at numbers and I see a very, should I say, weak representation of the one energy in a significant place, like in a core or a subcore, it's signifying that that particular individual is having problems on the first level, the level of the self. It indicates an individual that's lacking in the backbone, lacking in independence, and perhaps the individual does not have a very strong opinion of oneself. When you don't feel good about yourself, when you don't feel positive about yourself, then you have a tendency to surrender that power to outside forces. You lose your ability to think for yourself, to reason what is right for you. You lose your power to stand firmly in your decisions. And you surrender that power to outside influences. Now, it's important that you have a good understanding of what you're about so that another person or substances cannot take you off of your path, cannot take you off of your journey. So when I see this one energy lacking, it reveals to me an individual that has lost faith in himself and has put his faith in outside resources. Now, another number I like to talk about before I start my analysis on Mr. Phillip Hoffman is the number five. The five vibrational energy is an energy of freedom. In the highest sense, the soul is free in the highest sense of the word. But what happens is, and I don't know exactly how it happened, the soul got entangled with a body. I don't know if the soul volunteered to come into a body out of curiosity. I don't know. But the soul got itself entrapped inside of a physical body. And once inside of this physical body, it no longer has the freedom that it once had. And so it feels cramped up. It feels restricted. It feels limited. And it wants out. And so the five energy is searching for a way out of the physical body. A five energy must realize that a five energy is a freedom vibration. This is true. But while you're in the body, you must learn to understand how to free yourself from the body through reducing your desires. It is desires that attracts the soul back into the body because the soul wants to have the experience of a physical reality. That's what it wants. And in order to have that, you must come into the physical realm through the physical body. But once the soul is inside of the body, think about it. When a soul enters into the body, it is locked inside of not locked, but it is inside of a fetus. You know, not much room to wiggle. And it's confined there for 9 months, average 9 months. And it's like cooped up. And then when it's born, it's still in this really tiny body. And it really don't understand exactly where it's at. And it tries to break free, tries to break out of it. But it cannot do it. So it becomes frustrated. But eventually, um, it adjusts, it adapts, and it grows and becomes more in control of the physical body. But then it has these five physical senses that allows it to connect to the outside world. And these five physical senses are very attractive. The outer world becomes very attractive to the soul, and it wants to partake in the goodies. So it eats, and it likes the taste of food, and so it eats even more. Um, he likes the way alcohol makes it feel, or drugs makes it feel good, makes it feel free. Don't makes it, don't think about the heaviness of life. So it starts drinking and doing drugs. It connects with another person, sexually speaking, and it likes the way that feels. And you start having, sexual relationships. And all of that is fine if it's kept in check. When you start craving another individual to the point where you want to take what they have. That's not cool. When you get to the point where you cannot discipline yourself and eat only what the body needs, and you start eating just for pleasure and enjoyment, that's not cool. When you start drinking and lose control over the drinking and start acting like an imbecile, that's not cool. So the five energy gets itself entrapped by these centrals alluring vibrational frequencies, and it develops more and more of a desire until it becomes addicted, until it's no longer has the willpower to say no. It loses self-control. Now, if a five energy is not reinforced or not being checked by strong energies that do have controls, like a number one, then the five energy becomes erratic, undisciplined. So the one energy is important because it keeps the five energy in check. If you have a very strong sense of I am, what you're about, who you're about, if you're going somewhere, if you have a direction, if you understand that the outer world can never satisfy you, only you can satisfy yourself. If you put these trips on other individuals, like your wife, to bring you happiness, you're going to be disappointed. Or your children to bring you happiness, or food, or sex, or drugs. Now, none of those things bring you happiness. Only thing that brings you happiness is self-awareness, knowledge that you are indeed the divine child of God. And you need nothing outside of yourself because you already contain everything within yourself. You have to strive for that realization. And so when I'm saying a strong five pattern and a strong weak one pattern, then I also observe an individual that is prone to overindulge in alcohol, drugs, sex, food, addictive behavior. And unfortunately, Mr. Phillip Hoffman had a lot of five energies and not enough one vibrational energies. And so the five became undisciplined. And another number that was lacking, the number of faith, the seventh level. You got to have faith in yourself that God is going to pull you through no matter what you're going through. The easy way out is drugs, alcohol. That's the easy way out. That don't build character, that don't build your strength. You build your strength by standing tall when your adversary come, and you look at your adversary dead in the eye for eye, and say, listen, I know who I am, and I'm moving forward, and I'm not going to let you stand in my way and obstruct my objective. You got to have a backbone to stand up. Sure, life is going to come and hit you with everything it's got, but you're stronger than life. You are the creator of life, or you are the co-creator of life. And so life cannot do unto you unless you allow it to do unto you. But if you don't have a strong sense of I am, if you don't have a strong one energy, then you're going to fall into the trap of I am not. I don't have value. I don't have worth. And those are all erroneous statements. You are valuable. You do have worth because you are the divine child of God. So I'm going to start my analysis in part two. I just wanted to lay down a brief foundation on the importance and the significance of the one vibrational energy and the seventh vibrational energy in pertaining to Mr. Phillip Seymour Hoffman, what he was up against, what he was being challenged with. And I wanted to lay this foundation so that perhaps you can understand my reading with a lot more clarity, with a lot more depth. Numerology is only a tool that offers a perspective that shines a light. It's not the only light, it's just one light out of billions. There's over 7 billion people on this planet Earth, and each person has a light, each person's telling a story. It's not that one person's tale is taller than another person's tale, it's just a different perspective. It's just a different light. If you can get something out of that light, if the light can dissipate some darkness, so be it. If the light blinds you, so be it. Just the way it is with life. Life don't come with a blueprint. Life is what it is. Don't worry about life. Worry about yourself. And life will take care of itself. Until the next video, part 2. Peace.